The dream was always so vivid to Tess. The sound of a struggle, the screams of fear and anger, then the sharp report of a gunshot. They were all completely real. It was as if she'd been there, but of course she hadn't. The fake echo of sounds didn't wake her up. Even in her sleep, it was the blood that woke her, the thud of a body hitting the pavement, and the spatter of blood all over the sidewalk. Tess's eyes shot open. She sucked in a shuddering breath as the nightmare faded. Feeling sticky with sweat, she sat up and threw the blanket off. She knew it would be no use to try to go back to sleep. She placed her feet flat on the floor and sat with her head in her hands as her heart rate settled down to normal. It had been more than a decade since the nightmare had shredded her sleep, and she thought she was well past it. Why now? It had started years ago, on her birthday. The nightmare smashed her sleep in some form or another for a long time after the incident that sparked it. PD Shrink had said it was a kind of PTSD that would fade with time, and it had. Here she was, in a new home, in a new place, miles away from Long Beach, years older, so much perspective behind her, and she never expected the dream to resurface. She was wrong. It was a little after 4 a.m. Chief of Police Tess O'Rourke flipped on the lights and decided that her day would start now. She showered, scrubbing her head with shampoo, working to wash the remnants of the dream away. There was no date on the calendar that affected Tess more than her birthday, June 1st. Birthday. One day out of the year to celebrate however many years a person has been alive. Some people hated it because they hated the thought of getting older, but aging never bothered Tess. It was something else about the day that tortured her. Her birthday was also the anniversary of her father's murder. He was shot and killed while on duty on her 16th birthday. He died on a dirty sidewalk in Long Beach. For Tess, the day was never a celebration. It was a day to get through, nothing more. The phone rang when Tess was halfway through her first cup of coffee, studying a folder of paperwork she'd received from the DEA. Routine helped dispel the fog that came after the dream. The routine of police work was good medicine. Caller ID told her it was Becky Junkie, the graveyard patrol officer. Tess frowned. Becky would be EOW in a little over an hour. Her call now meant something unexpected had happened. She grabbed her phone. O'Rourke here. Chief, I've got a situation. A dead teenager. Looks like a drug overdose. Tess heard the uncertainty in her voice. Looks like? It's complicated. I'll be right there. Address? Tess wrote down the address and closed the folder she'd been studying. It was Friday morning, and because of all the hours she'd put in at work so far this week, technically her day off, but she'd learned that the chief of police was never really off duty, and she didn't mind. Police work was her life, especially on her birthday, and the lines between off-shift and on-shift were thoroughly blurred already. Besides, she'd asked to be notified of any death appearing to be drug-related. Drugs, specifically synthetic opiates, were the black plague of the 21st century. Drug overdose was becoming an all-too-common phrase. There was a growing crisis in the Rogue Valley of opiate addiction and death by opiate overdose. Officers in Medford, 40 minutes away and the largest city near Rogues Hollow, carried Narcan to deal with the issue. Tess considered whether issuing Narcan was feasible for her tiny department. Given a small-town budget, it would be difficult.